Good evening. Welcome again to Master Sellers Gzira. I'm Stefan. Today we have our second edition of the virtual wine tasting. Today we have Rosé. We have two Rosés, one from Malta and one from the south of France. The first Rosé that we have for you is 1919 Rosé, which is actually our first year that we produced it. It's a blend of Gelosa, the local indigenous grape, Grenache, and Shiraz. As a blend, it's quite an interesting blend. Most of these grapes have already been used for rosé, especially Grenache is used quite often for rosé because it gives very nice, juicy flavors. Shiraz tends to give that hint of spice. And Gelosa, our indigenous red grape, it was used already before, but here we have a bit of a more premium style of rosé and on a drier style as well, as we are going to see. The beauty of 1919 is also that every year, in conjunction with a local artist, we produce a series of labels. And this year the artist is Rupert Chefai, and I believe he's done a very good job. Not that I know much about art, but it looks good, it looks beautiful. So let's stick to where I know most, which is wine, and focus on the wine. As you can see, a very nice, bright, fragrant red color, not too heavy. I would say quite a typical Mediterranean rosé, where especially you got some full-bodied grapes like Grenache and Shiraz, which tend to give these bold flavors as a color. On the nose, a very nice nose. Immediately you get these slight herbal notes and very fresh and juicy red notes coming from the Gelosa and the Grenache, and some spicy elements coming from the Syrah. I'm going to taste. The wine, as we described before, tends to be on a drier style than we know in terms of wine, going very well, matching very well with more robust food compared to some other rosés which tend to be sweeter in nature. This is more of a serious rosé, and I think it's very enjoyable with a very good finish. And sometimes I would say that rosé is not taken seriously enough. We tend to take it a bit casually. Yes, it can be enjoyed throughout summer and throughout the hot period that we have in Malta, which can be up to 7-8 months in most years. So it gives ample space for this wine to be used, and it's I think it's quite versatile. It's quite versatile as well. Very enjoyable, good juiciness, and obviously very fresh, released very shortly in the last few months. Also with 1919, which is part of a range, there's the white, which is made from Gargantina mainly, and the red, which is Gelosa based. Obviously, as you can see, 1919 has this indigenous thematic, which I think has been completed very well with the 1919 Rosé. Proceeding, we have our second rosé for today, which is from the South France region of Provence, also part of the Mediterranean, but as you can see, even from the color, quite a different style. The wine is called Pure, very elegant labeling, very subtle, very minimalistic, from the house of Mirabeau. It's all the wines of Mirabeau, I think, offer a really nice character. They do quality, and here we have their one of their flagship wines, which is Pure. As you can see, the color is a bit different, but this is very typical of Provence rosé, having this more like a copper tinted, or sometimes like we used to say in Italian, ramato, this lighter rosé in terms of color. As you will see in the glass, it's much lighter overall. And this is very typical of Rosé from Provence. Even flavor-wise, I would say that in some cases, I think if you don't know what you're drinking, you might confuse it for a slightly fuller white wine, but still having these fresh nuances of strawberries and raspberries. But let's see if it matches with what I'm saying. As I was saying, the color is much paler, much lighter, but very elegant, going very well with this thematic of the bottle being and the labeling being with subtle colors. On the nose, a little bit sharper, giving us an idea that probably will be slightly more crispy, slightly more acidic maybe. The aromas are a little bit more subtle, giving this nuance of more raspberry, a much more like acidic fruit, and maybe hints of gooseberry maybe. Why not? On the palate, it's as well on the dry side, but very good fruit, very good finish, very enjoyable overall. Very much of a wine which can be drunk both socially and also with a meal, with a light meal, with something grilled. Now we're starting our barbecues very soon with some grilled chicken or also grilled fish, something which can take some power. Even some nice grilled prawns would probably go very well with some a light sauce, a light garlic sauce maybe. It can take it. Rosé is quite a good balance and can match with a lot of foods, and sometimes they say that you can match it with, if you're not sure what to drink rosé, as it can match very well with a lot of different dishes or foods. So as far as the wine tasting for today, in terms of the wines, that's it. I hope you're enjoying these sessions with us. I would just like to remind you about our website, which is www.themastercellar.com, where you can order your wines from us, 10% discount on the wines, and there's also free delivery with orders over €30. Thank you very much, and we'll see you next week.